Hey everyone, Dio here. Wanted to share with you my latest book from Trash Panda Press. This is Frank from Jersey. It is also my first book under my current name, so I'm really excited to share this with you. Muggsy is here just off camera, so he may poke his head up and say hi. But I thought we could do a little story time today. Frank from Jersey is currently available in ebook and paperback form. It's available wherever books are sold. Your local bookstore can order it through Ingram Spark. You can purchase it online, barnesandnoble.com, indiebound.org, which will send it to your local independent bookstore. I strongly encourage that option. I strongly discourage the option of using Amazon. So Frank from Jersey was inspired by the story of Saint Francis of Assisi. And whether you're Catholic or not, you've probably heard of this saint. This is the saint that people think of as blessing and protecting animals. He's also associated with wildlife, wilderness, forests, environmentalism. And so, I was thinking of his story and how, in his time, he would be considered pretty radical. He grew up in a very privileged home. His family was prosperous. He had money. He, was living the good life, did a lot of drinking and chasing women and debauchery. And then when he opened up to spirituality, he also rejected all of that, walked away, went off to live in the woods, went off to live amongst animals. And so at the time, people, of course, thought he was crazy. And I was wondering, if he were here in our present day society, how would we treat him? Given the way our society treats poor people, unhoused people, people who care about animals and the environment, period, or at least more than money and profit. And so wondering that and wondering what the nuances of his story would look and sound like if it was being told honestly and in the present is what inspired me to write this. So I'll share the preface with you. And the dedication is to all comrades, great and small. The first thing you have to know is they wanted him dead. No bloodlust. They just wanted to get rid of him. He was a nuisance, both in his words and his deeds. Problem is, he proved to be one not so easily disposed of. His predecessor, Joshua, had it better. He died. Mostly. And in being killed, his story remained true. But Francesco kept returning to haunt them. So they remade him in their image. That's how you came to know him, or rather, the fable of him. They had to tame him, humble him, break his will through legend. Time passes. Few are old enough to know the truth. Elephant perhaps, a scaly turtle or two, but you won't find them in Assisi. They're old, but they didn't know him. I did. I'll tell you the real story. The true story. It will make no difference if I bring you into my groves, if you gather around me and let the sun bake sweat onto your brow. A sun that, like Francesco, you only think you know. You don't know it until you see it dry the grasses. Watch the donkeys take shelter at noon. See the nonnina wipe the heads of babes with a damp cloth, working their fingers into a sign against the evils that come with too much heat. I could tell you of the sprawling fig trees, how their leaves brought modest rebellion to Eden, another story contorted by the time you learned it. But you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know the smells of rosemary, thyme, and poverty. The sound of church bells rings differently here. You wouldn't recognize the land of my roots, so I will come to yours. The story of Francesco has already been painted with layers of tempera, rotten eggs, a fairy tale. What difference does it make if we place him in his native Assisi or New Jersey? New Jersey it is then. So, that perspective is from a narrator who you find out at the very end, who the narrator is. I won't give any spoilers, and the narrator pops in from time to time, but most of it is told in Frank's perspective. And again, it's a sort of a modernized imagining of St. Francis of Assisi if he lived in New Jersey in whatever contemporary modern day. And although things like capitalism as an economic system did not exist in his time, I'm pretty sure if he were here today, he would reject that system. I'm pretty sure he would be a socialist of some kind. I'm pretty sure he'd be an environmentalist, at the very least, of some kind. And so that's the preface, and again, it is available wherever books are sold, both in paper book and ebook form. So if you check it out, I'd love to know what you think, and hope you have a good evening.